वैजयंती लेक्चर संपलं का?
हा जस्ट संपलं.
ओके.
त्यांना सांगितलं आहे मी जॉईन करायला.
ठीक आहे. अजून ते आले नाहीयेत ना हे अवधानी सर वगैरे, पण ते लोक कुठे कधी जॉईन करणार मला काही कळत नाही.
ऍक्च्युली माझा थोडासा पार्ट शिल्लक राहिला होता.
हो का?
हा, मी ते फील केलंय आणि ते मी बघितलं. आता मी ते फक्त आता करेक्शन करायचे.
काय काय?
ते तुम्ही पाठवलंय ना सिलेबस कंप्लीट.
पाठवलंय मी.
सिलेबस
हा
कंप्लीट.
ते ओके ओके ओके. हा ते मला पण करायचंय स्वतःला.
आणि ते स्टुडंट हे करतायत म्हणजे 5-6 मुलांनी सबमिट केले, ते तिथेच क्रिएट केल्यामुळे तिथेच सेव्ह झाले त्याच फोल्डरला. ओपन कोर्स, लॅब
अच्छा, ते
कोर्स.
कसं तू ते कसं करायचं मला पण जरा सांग. मला येत
पॉलिमर
नाहीये ते तसं.
सायन्सच्याच वेबसाईट ईमेल ओपन करून तिथे जाऊन गुगल फॉर्म क्रिएट केला ना, मग ते तिथेच फोल्डर वाईज सेव्ह झाले व्यवस्थित. म्हणजे मला आता कॉपी पेस्ट करायची गरज नाही झाली.
ओके, म्हणजे त्या फोल्डर मध्ये जाऊन सेव्ह करायचं का? नाही सॉरी, त्या
त्या
फोल्डर
फोल्डर
मध्ये
मध्ये जाऊन गुगल फॉर्म क्रिएट केला, म्हणजे मॉड्यूल नंबर
ओके.
18, 19, 20 आहेत ना, तिथेच जाऊन
हा
फोल्डर मध्ये जाऊन गुगल फॉर्म
हा
क्रिएट केला. तो सगळं
हा.
आन्सर जे आले ना स्टुडंटचे ते तिथेच सेव्ह झाले.
म्हणजे ते ऑटोमॅटिकली त्या इथे सेव्ह होतात त्या
ऑटोमॅटिकली
फोल्डर
त्याच
मध्ये.
फोल्डरला सेव्ह झाले. म्हणजे आता सपोज
ओके
प्रेझेंटेशन फाईल, रिसर्च पेपर, जी वर्ड फाईल आहे ते तिथेच सेव्ह झाले.
ओके. म्हणजे आता समजा माझं पण काही असं समजा पीपीटी त्यांना जसं ते काही असेल रिसर्च पेपर वगैरे, मग त्या फोल्डर मध्ये जायचं, गुगल फॉर्म क्रिएट करायचा
हा,
आणि
लिंक द्यायची फक्त मुलांना.
लिंक द्यायची. समजलं. ते जास्त
म्हणजे
इझी
तिथे
आहे.
सगळं सेव्ह होईल. म्हणजे परत आपल्याला रिपीट नको करायला. म्हणजे कॉपी
हा
पेस्ट
बरं झालं,
ईमेलला
बरं
बरेच,
झालं.
म्हणून मी त्यांना त्या दिवशी सांगितलं मी तुम्हाला लिंक सेंड करते आणि
हम्म.
तुम्ही तिथेच अपलोड करा. मग सारखे
बरं
सगळ्यांचे
झालं.
मेल
मग मी
मध्ये
पण
मला
तसंच
सेव्ह करायला लागेल.
करते. त्या असाइनमेंटला मी तसंच करते. तर मला
इथे मी
शोधायला
इथं
माझा वेळ.
केलेलं गुगल क्लासरूमला मुलांना नोट्स आहेत म्हणून मी गुगल क्लासरूम मध्ये क्लासवर्कला असाइनमेंट टाकले होते. म्हणजे मुलं परत ते युज करतील ना. असं.
तर कोणी येत नाहीये का? 240 in the world 2016 and fellow of he is the fellow of Royal Research Society of Chemistry for his outstanding contribution in the field. And he has like list of the honors and the awards. So recently he has been awarded with a Professor M Santappa Award in the Polymer Science for the year of 2020 by Society of Polymer Science India, and listed in world ranking top 2% scientists from India by Stanford University scientists. Certificate of appreciation of for the excellence contribution in the field of literacy, then associate editor, Journal of Renewable Materials, Tech Sciences, then the fellow of Royal Society of the Chemistry, then certificate of appreciation for the academic achievements, then regular member of ACS Society. So the list is never ending, sir. And we are very happy, or we are very privileged to have you here, and we are eagerly waiting to hear, sir. And on behalf of Society of Polymers Mumbai chapter and SK Somaiya College, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, I welcome you, and please to deliver your webinar on the topic. Please, sir, the platform is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vandana.
Yeah.
Yeah, just first let me whether sharing now complete. Yeah. Thank you so much. I express my warm good afternoon to one and all present in this webinar. Dear participants, respected member of the Polymer Society of India, fraternity of polymers, ladies and gentlemen. Hope all of you are safe and healthy under these unusual year-long pandemic situation. However, as our activities should continue, so here we are going to celebrate, or rather celebrating, the 100 years of polymer journey. And under this umbrella, this Polymer Society Bombay chapter, in association with this university, they have started a year-long presentation webinar. So even though now face-to-face or physical interaction now drastically reduced, but our activity as it should continue. So through this virtual mode, we are always together and we are interacting. So I, Professor N Karak from Tejpur University, will deliver and interact with all of you on sustainable polymeric nanocomposite for multifaceted applications. Now this sustainability nowadays, always you will able to hear, is not a bird's fix. Rather, it is the requirement of the day, and hence it is the order of the day. Actually, for any sorts of development in today's society, that has to be sustainable, and it must follow the protocol of sustainability, because we want that our society should be sustainable. Now, for a society to be sustainable, it must be integral part of environment and is harmony with the nature. Sustainable development should strive to maintain the biodiversity and healthy ecosystem. A society should be supervisor of the land and natural resources, not as a consumer. It should maintain the system that effectively and efficiently meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the needs of future generation. The society strive to be waste-free, eliminate air and water pollution, and it should consume the renewable resources, and only when absolutely necessary, then only non-renewable resources can be used to meet the demand of present generation. Thus, there are so many definitions, and here we have to remember that as a part of the scientific community, we should have our responsibility. We should remember that science and technology is the key driver for development of the society, as technology and scientific revolution strengthen the economic advances, improvement, health, education, energy, infrastructure, all these. But scientific development also have some demerits, and that we should not forget our responsibility to rectify it as and when it will come. As I told you, there are several definitions, several understanding, but whatever the definition is, the thing is that sustainable development means it should meet the demand of present generation without compromising the needs for the future generation. Thus, it is not a smart growth or spatial management tools for the growth or zonal or local development. Rather, it is more than economic issue, environmental issue, material issue, and human resource development issue. So combination of all these, or even more than that, is the sustainable development. Now, as we are part of materials, polymer is one of the materials, and hence I shall start my presentation from the very basic of materials. From our school days, we know that material means which can occupy the space and can be measured by three fundamental measuring units. But for the society, material is something which is useful to the mankind, and at the same time, it should bear the load in its right form to do its function. Thus, we have seen that this importance of materials has been realized from the ancient time. And that's why a particular period of civilization is named after the material which has been used at that period significantly. Now, after completion or after that Stone Age, Metal Age, now we are in the age of polymers. Today's society, we have seen that they are using these three categories of materials: metal, ceramics, polymer, or their combination. However, recently over the last 2 to 3 decades, there another material, a lilliput, which is very strong, is coming into the picture. These are nanomaterials. So my presentation will try to concentrate on polymers, nanomaterials, and their combinations. Now, question is, why polymer? Polymer is the youngest member because it's now we are celebrating the 100 years of its journey. But we should also remember that polymer is basically has started its journey on the day when life has created in this wonderful world. Because the fantastic combination of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, etc. resulted life, and many parts of the body or life are made up of biopolymers. Though, so meaningfully or unknowingly, it was not known to us only in 1920s when Schrodinger has given the concept, real concept of polymer. From there, we used to consider that polymer has started its journey. And that's why we are celebrating 100 years. Now, this youngest member, but it is the brightest member in the family because most of the materials are being replaced by this young member. And this is due to the fact they have many advantages over the other categories of material. These are, I have enlisted and known to you. Just for recapitulation, these are versatile in their feedstock, structure, and property. And we know that to play around the properties of polymer, two things you have to do, two switching bottoms are there. One is structure, another is molecular weight. So as you can play around the structure, that means you are playing around the property and hence the applications. Further, because of the organic nature, most of the polymer are organic in nature, they have a lot of active functional group, and hence they can be modified easily, processing and fabrications are easy. Mass scale production at high speed is possible, and that resulted overall low cost of the polymer. In addition to that, they have a aesthetically very appealing because the colorability is white. Above all, they are light in weight over other categories of material, and that's why today's sophistication of different articles we are getting because of this lightweight characteristic. And because of all these advantages, we have seen that now in day in and day out, we are using polymers. Not only in our daily life, but also at the time of our suffering, we are using polymer as our best friend. Even you have seen that a picture I've given where an ugly girl become the beautiful girl because of plastic surgery using this polymeric material. Today's advancement of science and technology, whether it is automobile, whether it is aerospace, everywhere we are using this polymer. And with the increasing population and of the world and comfort in life, this polymer are using day by day in exponential rate. However, whenever you will use is with recklessly and unawareness of the people after their use, it causes environmental havoc. So now polymer become the culprit to the society, and always we are able to hear here and there say no to plastic. But here I should see the background of development of polymer. Then you can understand why this is happening. In the year of 20th century, when we used to mainly use the metals and ceramics, they have some problems. Metals are corrosive. It's required high energy for processing, whereas ceramics are brittle and their fabrication is relatively difficult. So society wanted that there should have some material which can be easily fabricated, which should not corrode or degrade, and which can be processed with low energy, and that's why polymers are invented. Now, because of all the advantages of polymer, now they are used recklessly, and it is the picture what I have shown in the slides. So question is, what should be the, in addition to that, the synthetic polymer also have some other demerits, like they are depends on fossil fuel, and that leads to depletion of petroleum reserves. And it is estimated that by 2050, if we have not taken right measure to preserve this oil reserve, then it will not be there for the future generation, and we will not get sustainable society. In addition to that, this synthetic polymer, they have waste disposal problem, land filling problem, risks to aquatic and terrestrial animal problem, overall adverse in environmental impact. And if you examine all these issues, the non-renewability of the raw material and non-biodegradability of the polymer are the major cause of all such issues. So what should be the right polymer? The polymers which should be used in a sustainable society must not depend, or if dependency is there, it must be low enough on fossil fuels, so that the depletion of petroleum reserve will not happen. The raw material as well as the end product must be environmental benign and biodegradable. The development should be sustainable. The raw materials should be easily available, and the materials, raw material as well as end products should be handled and transported easily. And through the process of transformation from the raw materials to the product and subsequent disposal should result high carbon credit. Here you have to remember that reduction of 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the environment resulted 1 carbon credit, and which is necessity for the refreshment of the society environment. Further, the approach must follow the concept of triple bottom line, which is the concern with the society, ecology, and economy of the country. Thus, literature advocates that bio-based raw material which are renewable, easily available in larger quantity, environmental friendly, biodegradable, and relatively low cost, they can be easily modified because they are organic in nature and can be handled easily. Most importantly, the existing knowledge of chemistry can be utilized to transform them to the industrially useful polymeric product. In addition to this, you have to remember that for a sustainable development, we must have in our mind the tenets of green chemistry. There are 12 tenets. I'm not going to details, but just to give you a reminder that for a sustainable development, we should use renewable feedstock, we should use safer solvent and reaction condition, and energy efficient way, so that the product what we obtain, it will fall under the sustainable categories. Now, whether our assumption that use of bio-based raw material may lead to sustainability or sustainable development, that I have shown in this slide. We are obtaining the raw materials from the nature, and through proper modification, the polymer which are obtained that can be transformed to the real product, and after their useful service life, they will not generate the solid waste, rather degrade and assimilate to generate biomass and go back to the environment. Thus, this cycle will continue and there will be no full stop. And hence we feel that it will lead to sustainable development. As a polymer scientist and technologist, we also know that architecture of the polymer, because as I told you, there are two switching bottom to play around the property, is the structure, and part of the structure, that is the physical part, architecture. Now, architecture of the polymer, that is the linear, conventionally most of them, but along with that, special architecture like dendritic polymer, which is tree-like growth and appearance, they are of two types, hyperbranch, dendrimer. In addition to that, there are other architectures like foam, starch, brass, and all are these having special effect on their property as well as processing characteristic of this polymer. Thus, in our research, we tried to concentrate on bio-based hyperbranch polymer. Now, compared to dendrimer, which required multi-step process for their preparation, hyperbranch is like conventional linear polymer can be obtained by single-step synthetic process. In addition to that, it's enjoy the advantage of other dendritic polymers like three-dimensional globular structure with highly branched architecture, and they have large number of free terminal functional group. They also have low melt and solution viscosity and high solubility, all of which are required for their processing and performance. Thus, in our research, we have concentrated mainly 4 different kinds of industrially important polymer, and we have synthesized a huge number of conventional and hyperbranch, solvent-borne, water-borne, polyester, polyesteramide, polyurethane, epoxy, and which we shall discuss in this seminar. Now, our strategy is very simple, because I believe that simplest thing is the best thing. Nature produces all the things by simple technology, and still we are infant in front of nature. If you see this bio-based raw material, which are directly or their immediate derivative, are used to obtain all these polymer for their industrial applications. Now, our journey has started by synthesizing or developing polyester, because polyester or esterification is the simplest organic reaction, which required only condensation reaction, where elimination of water as the byproduct and simple reaction resulted this polyester polymer. Now, for getting hyperbranch structure and bio-based, we have used different types of raw material, from monoglyceride of oil, dimer acids, citric acid, tannic acid, starch, etc. And we use the strategy AX plus BY to get this hyperbranch polymer, where X and Y is always greater than is equal to 2. And this polymer, we have seen that they have good performance, because we know that polyester is outranked about 54% of the coating and paint industry, and also it has good compatibility with other elements, good solubility in different industrial solvent, and processing is easy. Thus, it has well accepted by the industry. However, the alkali resistance of polyester is not very good, and that limits different advanced applications. So we thought that it would be a good. Disconnect. Thus, we thought that amide group, which is a tough as well as which is very strong and alkali resistance, So if you can give a marriage, right marriage of ester group with the amide group in the same polymer chain, then you will get the high flexibility or the unique attribute of polyester. Along with that, polyamides also you will get. Thus, we have synthesized polyester amide using different types of bio-based raw material using the same strategy, and we have seen indeed it giving better result than polyester, and it is also biodegradable. However, both polyester and polyamide cannot be used for advanced application because of their poor mechanical property and particularly the flame resistance and also thermostability. Thus, we have carried forward our journey by using the most versatile polymer, polyurethane. Polyurethane, because of the presence of two different segments of soft and hard, there is a microscopic phase separation, and you can play around the structure by changing the composition of soft and hard segment, their raw materials, and you can make so many polymers with different properties. So in our research, we have shown that using a large number of bio-based raw material and the core unit, you can able to synthesize by using the same strategy. Only we have used depolymerization technique, and where you get these different hyperbench polyurethane, and which have very unique property that I shall discuss in subsequent slides. In addition to that, as I have told that I also use or synthesize hyperbench epoxy. Epoxy, we know that it is an engineering thermosetting material, and it is largely used by the industry, not only in adhesive industry, but because of its unique attribute like high mechanical performance, thermostability, chemical resistance, but it has the poor toughness and brittleness character. Above all, they are non-biodegradable. So in our research, we tried to address these issues by using bio-based raw material like starch, tannic acid, sorbitol, etc. And we have synthesized a number of bio-based hyperbench epoxy with good performance. However, again, all these polymers are synthesized by solution technique, where you have to use organic solvent. And whenever you are using organic solvent, there is issues like VOC, volatile organic component, which leads to environmental pollution, hence sustainability is not possible to attain. They are also flammable and odor. So in order to replace this solvent, we have tried to switch over our research from solvent-borne to water-borne system, because water is the ideal solvent. It is non-toxic, there is no VOC, it is easy to clean, environmental friendly, and hence water-borne polymer system we have synthesized as bio-based hyperbench polymer. In this NDFR, we have seen that we have synthesized a water-borne hyperbench polyester using citric acid glycerol as the bio-based raw material along with the other. And in this strategy, we have not used any solvent, any catalyst, any neutralizing agent to get the water-borne system. And thus, it is really an environmental benign system, and the polymer exhibited very unique attributes. Similarly, polyurethane, water-borne polyurethane also synthesized using tannic acid as one of the bio-based raw material. However, in both of these, or some petrochemicals are used, synthetic materials are used. So we thought that why not fully bio-based hyperbench waterborne can be synthesized. And in this process, we have successfully synthesized fully bio-based waterborne polyester using dimer acid, glycerol, and citric acid. Thus, where we have not used any solvent, however, a neutralizing agent used diethylamine. Now, in all these bio-based polymer, we have seen that the raw material, the biomaterial, their structure, component, strong influence on the properties.
Avdani sir, will you please check? I think there is some connectivity issue from Karak side.
I will just check. I'll just
Yeah,
check.
please.
Yeah.
Karak sir, please unmute yourself. Sir, please unmute.
Okay.
Correct, sir. Now I
Yeah.
can hear you. Correct, sir.
Yeah.
Now I'm okay.
This one. Now you are able to see my
Yeah,
slides?
I can see.
Okay,
We can see.
Just
Okay.
yeah, yes sir,
Okay,
perfect.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thus, this raw material, bio-based raw material, has its influence on the performance of the polymer. Further, when it is waterborne system, the performance is again inferior compared to solvent-borne system, though all of them are biodegradable. In fact, this biodegradability not only by themselves, when we physically blended the non-biodegradable materials like epoxy, commercial epoxy, we have seen that partial biodegradability can be achieved. Also, the architecture having some effect on the biodegradability. Compared to linear polymer, the hyperpunch polymer, because the geometry help to assess this microorganism as their food, and hence better biodegradability are obtained. So we thought that to improve the property, can we further modify by using some desirable component like in our last project of DST, CRB, where we have to develop a hydrophobic polyurethanes. There we thought that if we incorporate polydimethylsiloxane, which is a low energy surface energy material, into the polymer, whether property can be improved. And indeed, we have seen that this material increase the hydrophobicity. If you see the advancing angle, advancing angle and reducing angle, if you see, this is increased, and particularly angle of hysteresis, which is the difference between the advancing angle and receding angle, and which, if it is fall below 2 degree or near 2 degree, then the surface is becomes self-cleaning and hydrophobic. So its result is self-cleaning, and also flexibility. If you see, the elongation at break is extremely high, above 3000. Toughness is also good, but the mechanical strain, if you see, is not up to the mark. So we thought that because of the softness character of polydimethyl siloxane, this is happening, but we want to retain the hydrophobicity. So it is further modified by using a hydrophobic moiety like polystyrene, which is synthetic, of course, but just to see our idea whether it is work or not, we have produced the simultaneous polymer network to get polyurethane elastomer and polystyrene network, and we have seen that by this process we are able to increase the hydrophobicity further. Though angle of stress is a little bit increased, but overall hydrophobicity is become very high, up to 120 degrees centigrade contact angle. And also the mechanical strength is increased. However, the elongation or flexibility reduced drastically. It's from the 3000, it's now become 115. And hence we thought or concluded that virginity is not the virtue for polymer, because they are suffering from low mechanical strength, permeability, low thermal stability, and hence you have to adopt some adulteration process through which you can improve their performance. And conventionally, this field system and conventional composite system are used. However, they need high amount of reinforcing agent, about 30 to 60 parts with the polymer, and that causes processing difficulties in lightweight retaining, transparency retaining, and also some cases biodegradability. Thus, we, along with the other field, we thought that as over this last decades or so, that means 21st centuries, this is a materials for the nano dimension, and hence if you can incorporate this nano dimensional material into the polymer with a very little amount, 1 to 5 weight% maximum, then you will able to get a polymeric nanocomposites, and which has great significance over the conventional system, as it can retain the lightweight characteristic, it can generate outstanding barrier property, it can provide high heat stability and flame resistance, it can even improve biodegradability and retain the transparency of a transparent polymer. It's also reinforced the mechanical property, improve the chemical resistance property, as well as it may generate very interesting optical, magnetic, electrical, etc. property depending on what kind of nanomaterials you are using. Thus, in our research, we have used a large number of nanomaterials from nano clay to cellulose nanofiber, including metal, metal oxide, and different types of carbon-based nanomaterials. However, to explore their advantages, improve their pristine polymer performance, you need to functionalize them before use incorporation into your polymer. This clay is a hydrophilic material, whereas most of the organic polymer are hydrophobic in nature. Hence, you have to modify them to hydrophobic system, and there we have used some bio-based agent so that some sustainability system will come. And also we have used a new strategy where this modification can be done in situ. We have used aniline hydrochloride as the exchanging cation, and there itself we polymerize oxidative polymerization technique with the nano clay, and we got a hybrid system with polyaniline and nano clay, which subsequently incorporated in this hyperbranch bio-based polymer, and we have seen a lot of improvement that I shall discuss later. We have also used multifunctional carbon nanotube, and as these have high aggregation among themselves because of strong van der Waals attraction pi-pi bond, and they need to be functionalized. And most of the cases, oxidative functionalization are used. We have also initially used this. As a result, their aspect ratio are reduced because you have to use very strong oxidizing agent. However, if you use mild oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, it's not that much detrimental, but still some loss of aspect ratio or degradation of the nanotubes are happening. So in our strategy, we use a fishing approach where both covalent and non-covalent functionalization is done, and so that its aspect ratio will not reduce drastically. At the same time, the functionalization will be very effective. So the multiple carbon nanotube is functionalized by using microwave irradiation with glycidyl methacrylate, followed by wrapping with polyaniline nanofiber using again microwave irradiation. We have also used this graphene oxide and reduced graphene oxide. Now, graphene oxide is obtained same as Hamar's method, but to get the reduced graphene oxide, we have used our own strategy, where we use again bio-based material across different phytoextract, and these in presence of a suitable catalyst, metal ion catalyst, we are able to reduce this graphene oxide within 3 to 10 minutes with a high yield. And where normal conventional, most of the system, they need more than hour. In the same strategy, using this, you can also obtain different nano hybrid with other material using the same phytoextract. Our work in case of carbon dot and reduced carbon dot is also take attention with the research community. This carbon dot, which is known to you that it's a semiconductor nanomaterial, which is the only nanomaterial or semiconductor nanomaterial which is water soluble and which has high photo bleaching characteristic, resistance to photo bleaching characteristic, and low toxicity. Rather, it is a biocompatible system, and also this functionalizability is easy. Most importantly, this carbon dot is highly fluorescent. We have used very simple strategy, and this paper is still now our one of the best highly cited paper, where we have synthesized this carbon dot, green luminescent carbon dot from banana juice or any water soluble carbohydrate just by heating 4 to 5 hours at 150 to 160 degrees centigrade even in a glass container. And this carbon dot, whether it is obtained from starch, banana juice, or any other carbohydrate, can also be reduced to get more effective fluorescence material, and particularly this material have good photocatalytic effect, which I shall discuss later on. We have also used different types of metal and metal oxide nanoparticles, and produced by reductive technique from their corresponding salts. And one of such nanomaterials, silver nanomaterial, formed by using some phytoextract which are available in northeastern region, and we have seen it has tremendous anti-cancerous property, which work we have done with the help of Shantiniketan Vishwabharati University, and this is a very unique nanomaterial obtained by reductive technique using phytoextract as the reducing agent. We have also used cellulose nanofiber, which are obtained again from different bio-based raw material. And as cellulose nanofiber, it is a light but high strong, biodegradable, and also it has many other advantages because mechanically these are very strong. It also easy to handle, and you can obtain it by mechanochemical treatment from using or by using different types of bio-based raw materials. Our strategy for fabrication of this polymeric nanocomposite using bio-based hyperbunch polymer and this nanomaterial is very simple. By solution technique, we have mixed the polymer solution and dispersion of the nanomaterial by mechanical sharing, followed by ultrasonication. Both are mixed and nanocomposites are obtained. However, in case of thermosetting, after the removal of the solvent, you have to cure it to get the thermosetting character. However, most of our work follow the in situ technique, where the P polymer or the monomer of the polymer and dispersed nanomaterials are polymerized in presence of one another. And in case of nanocomposite, this cast film after drying are cured to obtain the desired nanocomposite film. Now, if you see here, by incorporation of very little amount of nanomaterial, say reduced graphene oxide, just 2 to 8%, you can improve the performance, mechanical performance enormously. And if it is functionalized further, then the improvement is much better. Whether it is strength, whether it is toughness, even the elongation at break, that means flexibility. Generally, whenever there is a fabrication of polymeric nanocomposite, there is an increment of the strength but reduction of the elongation error rate. So we thought, what is happening? In our case, why both are improving? So this is explained by help of release of hidden length and rupture of sacrificial bond. Because this functionalization resulted covalent linkage of this graphene oxide with the polymeric chain along with the non-covalent interaction. And as a result, when low external force is used, then this hidden length, whatever are there due to this non-covalent interaction, they are released and that increase the elongation. Further, rupture of this sacrificial bond and slippage of total slippage of the layers of graphene resulted high elongation. At the same time, its strength is also improving. This functionalized graphene oxide also we have seen that increase the conductivity from a non-conducting material to a semiconducting material is possible to obtain by incorporation just 2-8% of functionalized reduced graphene oxide. We have tried to use, I have just cited some of the specific example as it is not possible to cite all these things. So now I tried to use them in different field. One of this field is environmental remediation, because I'm talking about the sustainability and environmental remediation is most important of all these. So for removal of the pollutant, degradation of the organic contaminants, including dye, oil water separation, self-cleaning surface, biodegradation, all are possible to obtain through our approach. Let's see. The waterborne hyperbench polyester and carbon dot nanocomposites are obtained. Here also, we use the carbon dot as one of the reactant. And most importantly, we have not used any external catalyst, solvent, neutralizing agent. And this is a really environmental friendly approach through which we got this polymer nanocomposite which exhibited good mechanical property along with photoluminescence characteristics. Most importantly, this surface is self-cleaning. Under the exposure of sunlight, it can degrade the different dye molecules. And hence, you are able to get a self-cleaning surface. When you incorporate this hyperbench polyester, this carbon dot and titanium dioxide, you are able to get more widened spectra of applications by using the same polymer. Along with the self-cleaning and photoluminescence, it can produce anti-reflecting, anti-fogging, anti-microbial or bacterial effect. In addition to that, we have seen that this film can be used for separation of oil-water mixture. We have used crude oil from the mines, and where we have seen by using our membrane repeatedly, you can separate water very efficiently from the oil. And this picture clearly shows that water is completely free of oil, where we use the other filtered paper or other polymeric substance where you will get inefficient separation. This hyperbench bio-based polyurethane and reduced carbon dot and zinc oxide nanocomposite also able to degrade the detergent, the soap or detergent what we are throwing after washing or bathing. This causes environmental pollution. So we thought, can we clean this water by using our nanocomposites? And we have mixed these nanocomposite films and exposed to the sunlight. And because they have a low band gap, 2.12 electron volt, and the UV light of the sunlight are absorbed and excited electron generate holes and electron pair, which resulted the hydroxy radical and superoxide radical, and which ultimately oxidize the organic contaminant to carbon dioxide and water, and thus clean the water, contaminated water. All these nanocomposites are also biodegradable, and hence that will not cause any garbage problem or garbage issue to the environment. Now, our major part of work are devoted for getting smart, intelligent polymer, and polyurethane is one of the best polymer for this purpose. Literature shows that marks application like smart cloth is the same cloth can be used both winter and summer. It will change its porosity, size, shape by the temperature of the environment and body temperature. Smart switcher is another example where a biodegradable smart switcher can do knotting during surgery by itself and also degrade. So second surgery is not necessary by themselves. They also used to remove the clotted blood from the artery, brain, and by help of minimum invasive surgery without major surgery. Self-healing is another smart attribute of this polymer. Safe memory, self-healing, self-cleaning, these are the smart attributes which we have explored for our polymer. We have seen that this nanocomposite can give or can change their shape from a temporary desirable deformed shape to the original shape by help of different external stimuli. It may be heat energy, it may be microwave, it may be even solvent. Thus, we are able to see that a functionalized graphene oxide and polyurethane nanocomposite or even unfunctionalized one can exhibit a multi-stimuli responsive shape memory property, and shape recovery time, if you see, is reduced to even a minute or so, whereas recovery ratio is very, very high. Recently, we have produced a ultra fast shape memory material thermoresponsive shape report nanocomposite by using functionalized polydimethyl siloxane and sealant coupling agent with hydroxy iron oxide and RGO based polyurethane nanocomposite, where we have seen that even by 22 seconds you can recover the original shape after exposure to heat of about just 50 degrees centigrade. And these polymeric nanocomposites can also form within 35 seconds this self-tightening knot. This also have the artificial muscle-like character, like it can lift the weight at about 50 degrees centigrade, 50 gram weight can be lifted by this change of shape by using this polymeric nanocomposite. That means it has artificial muscle-like character. This some of this nanocomposite also exhibited self-healing character. We know that self-healing is possible for the plants and some animals, but polymer can also heal their shape when their surface is damaged during their service period. And we have seen that even the non-contact self-healing is possible without using additional self-healing agent, because most of the conventional system we use self-healing agent and incorporation of which is difficult. Number two, once they are exhausted, you cannot get the second time or repeated time this self-healing character. But in our case, we have seen that you can get the self-healing character with high healing efficiency repeatedly without any additional self-healing agent by the process that I'll show you by using microwave as well as sunlight as a non-contact triggering. This is possible even iron oxide RGO nanocomposite based on bio-based hyperpunch polyurethane. And here you have seen that if the nanocom materials are not there, then self-healing is not possible to achieve. This healing efficiency is also depend on the exposure dose. If your power is high microwave, then efficiency is high. Also the amount of nanomaterial. So from this, we conclude that definitely this nanomaterial has a key role in this self-healing process. And we have described that this nanomaterial is act as a nano heater. And when this microwave or sunlight are exposed to the matrix, then they absorb this energy and they dissipate it to the matrix, and matrix temperature is increased above the glass transition temperature, and thus Brownian motion of the soft segment started, which resulted this healing of the damaged surface. And efficiency, if you see, is even after fifth cycle, it's almost 100%. Thus, you can get self-healing character repeatedly. Our material also exhibited self-cleaning ability. Already I have told you, and this is also titanium oxide and RGO nanohybrid brace polyurethane nanocomposite, where this surface, contaminated surface, can be cleaned by photocatalytic effect, just like hydrophobicity or lotus effect. Our material can also be used in healthcare system. Depending upon the nanomaterials, just one example I have shown, that sulfur reduced graphene oxide nanohybrid can have good antimicrobial ability. And as a result, they are able to heal this microorganism antimicrobial effect, and hence it can be used as a coating for different devices to get contaminated, particularly in healthcare system related device where contamination is the major issue. One of the nanocomposites is used as a self-expandable stain. We know that there is a, with the age, blockage of the different system in our body, and that need tubings which need to be open the block of the tube. And for this self-expandable stent are used. But problem of the self-expandable stent that after 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, it's blocked again, because the microorganism, they form the biofilm and they causes blockage of the tube. So you need a antimicrobial self-expandable stent. So in our research, we have seen that a self-expandable stent made up of bio-based hyperbunch polyurethane, this is starch-based with the carbon dot or silver nanomaterials. And when you will get the expandability, original is 5.45 millimeter, and after expansion is 5.4 millimeter. So it's near about 98 to 99% self-expandability is there. Along with it is antimicrobial. This is also biocompatible. This switching system, which I have mentioned in from literature what we got, and we have tried to replicate it by using a hyperbunch polyurethane reduced carbon dot nanocomposite. Carbon dot and reduced carbon dot, as I have told you, that they are biocompatible. And bio-based polymers also we have seen from the cell viability test, these are biocompatible. And the knot what we have produced, because we know that major surgery, during the process of surgery, whatever the doctor expertise here, it's really very difficult all the time to get the right knot, either loose or it is tightened, both of which causes delay of healing process. So right knot automatically can produce by help of this smart attribute of the polymer, and these are biodegradable also, so there is no need of second surgery. And if you see that just by body temperature 37 degrees centigrade, after 15 seconds, it can form the knot as desired. This nowadays we are using so many electronic gadgets, and hence static electricity generation is a very common issue and which causes health problem. So our one of the product, polyester amide multi-wall carbon nanotube silver nanocomposite, what I have shown you that in situ it can be generated, and the functionalization is done by using a bio-based raw material diethyl fatty amides. And this nanomaterial based polymer nanocomposite shows heat resistance, which is same as anti-static material, and also it is antimicrobial property it has, and hence it can be used as a coating for anti-static coating materials. All these nanocomposite we have tested the biocompatibility by using cell viability test and also histological test. Histological tests clearly showed that the before implantation and after implantation, the sacrifice rat shows the same architecture of the organ. That means these are compatible. Or one of the polymeric nanocomposites, which is used for bone regeneration as a scaffold. This is rapeseed protein modified multi-wall carbon nanotubes and sunflower oil-based hyperpunch polyurethane, which is used. I have shown the photograph where we have deliberately damaged the bone, both one side and both side bone of the oyster rat. And after applications of this scaffold material, we have seen that bone regeneration, neoformation within 90 days is both the cases is almost 100%. Whereas when there is no material, even after 90 days, there is no repairing of the bone was found. Thus, our material is really a scaffold material for regeneration of the damaged bone can be used. This is we have done, of course, by help of medical doctor. But we thought that this surgery is a painful phenomena. So patient suffer a lot. Can we do regeneration of this bone by using a injectable polymer nanocomposite? In a DBT project, we have used a peptide modified carbon dot and waterborne hyperpunch polyurethane along with the gelatin. And by help of biotechnology IIT Kharagpur, we are able to successfully demonstrate that we can inject this scaffold material which become gel by body temperature and can be used as a scaffold to regeneration of bone. So calcium deposition, other cell formation, osteoblast, osteocytes, are found after implantation of this injectable bone tissue scaffold. This cellulose nanofiber and polyene nanofiber with carbon dot can be used as a nanomaterial for epoxy nanocomposite. And these nanocomposite we have seen, they also have some sensing ability. The glucose sensing selectively is possible in presence of fructose, maltose, mannitol, uric acid, dopamine, etc. And we have then seen that fluorometrically you can detect the glucose concentration, which is possible to detect the unknown sample also using our material. Our nanocomposites, some of these nanocomposites are also used as an efficient catalyst. Just I have cited one example where this waterborne hyperpunch polyurethane and carbon dot nanocomposites are effectively used very selectively, 100% selectivity with para-selectivity of hydroxylation of substituted aromatic compound. Irrespective of the withdrawing substitution, whether it is electron donating or electron withdrawing group, in all the cases we have seen 100% para-hydroxylation is possible by using their nanocomposite. And as an explanation, we have proposed a 3-point interaction of the nanocomposites with this reactant. And when it is electron donating, then Hall effect, and when it is withdrawing, then electron effect through this hydroxy group generation is happening. Little effort we have also spent for generation of alternative energy. Though in this regard, we are, because of the facilities problem, we are unable to go in details. But however, we have seen in one of our polymeric nanocomposite with carbon dot can be efficiently used to generate hydrogen peroxide from aqueous ethanol. It is possible by using water and ethanol separately, but when you use water, the amount is more, but selectivity is less. Whereas when you use only ethanol, then amount is less, though selectivity is high. So a mixture of 25–75%, we found the best for production of hydrogen peroxide by photocatalytic effect. Some of the nanocomposite is really work multifaceted. as a multi-dimensional material for multifaceted applications. Carbon dot reduced copper oxide nanohybrid and hyperpunch epoxy nanocomposites can be used as a anti-counterfeiting material. Nowadays, security is very, very important, and particularly some valuable brand product, currency, their security is very, very, because other is counterfeiting is always encountered. So we have seen this nanocomposite, when we use even a duplicate of currency we have used, and there we have make a mark of fingerprint, and we have seen that under normal light you are unable to see this fingerprint. But when you expose light, UV light, even different color is possible by using different wavelength of the UV light, and you will able to clearly visible this fingerprint. Thus, it can be used as an anti-counterfeiting material. This also having self-cleaning ability. Also, it can produce photoluminescence. This interpenetrating polymer network and polyurethane and polystyrene with octadecyl amine capped copper and reduced graphene oxide based nanocomposite shows hydrophobic surface, antimicrobial surface, anti-static surface. So this I have shown that up to 143 near super hydrophobicity. But here you should remember that super hydrophobic material is not good because they are oxidized and drastically change that hydrophobicity. So lower means high hydrophobicity is much better than super hydrophobicity for self-cleaning surface. Also, because of this hydrophobicity, we have seen that it's delayed the ice formation. So in winter country or the region like Leh, Tawang, where running the device instrument in the winter season is really very difficult because of the ice formation. So our coating, this nanocomposite coating, if you put, we have seen on a metal plate, glass plate, that if I coat it, then there will be no ice formation. Whereas there is no coating, there is ice formation. So this because of this hydrophobic character, this nanomaterial nanocomposite can delay the ice formation of the coated surface. This also resulted self-cleaning surface. Thus, this is really multifaceted material. However, whatever the applications, they must applications or the property, they must undergo self life cycle assessment study, which related with the cradle to grave analysis for their effect of detrimental effect to the environment and health issue. And I have, this is of course from the literature, I have seen that even though we are using bio-based polymer, bio-based reinforcing material, but 100% environmental impact you cannot avoid. Even some amount, though it is much better than the synthetic petroleum-based or the synthetic reinforcing agent that I have given listed the compared to the synthetic one, but still then some effect is there. So we thought that can we use this natural material in our research to get the desired material for different end application. And recently our endeavor started to produce some hydrogel where the guar gum, star, this type of natural product are transformed to make the hydrogel which having high water absorption capacity, more than 700 gram per gram, and which exhibited good control release profile. Urea we have impregnated, and we have seen that urea can be released over 30 days. And using the same urea encapsulated hydrogel, we have we have done a preliminary study on the crop production, and we have seen where there is no hydrogel, that is dried using the same amount of soil and water, same seeds or similar seeds. Where only hydrogel is used, this is not growing very higher rate. But where we have used the controlled release fertilizer system, the growth of the crop is very encouraging. This type of hydrogel can also be used for environmental remediation, for removal of different types of dye which are coming from the textile industry, other color industry, that can be removed by using this hydrogel, and which can be recycled repeatedly. So in our humble effort at the northeastern part of the country, we are able to produce different types of advanced polymeric nanocomposites for active surface coating material, which I have not shown industrially, immobilization of enzyme, tissue engineering, process jet and thermostabilizer, heterogeneous nanocatalyst, tough adhesive biosealant. This patent is just this year we have received the grant. This can be used as antimicrobial, anti-cancerous material. They are smart material. They can be used as anti-static. E-pollutant removal is also possible, anti-counterfeiting, etc. And bio-based super absorbent hydrogel is a new addition in this area. So from this, I can conclude that this bio-based engineered material, through molecular engineering, you can get a multifaceted, highly value-added product. The result shows that starting material as well as the end product have the requisite of green material and with a targeted sustainability. The use of this approach not only clean the environment, but also maintain the concept of triple bottom line approach as well as achieve high carbon credit. Use of such approach thus makes the clean environment and unstable environment and achieve multifaceted attribute. That multifunctional nanocomposite can have multidimensional applications. Thus, in our research, we tried to address the non-biodegradability characteristic of the synthetic polymer, reserve of petroleum resource, VOC generation, and all of which is the step for getting sustainable development. Our work is funded by different funding agencies from UGC to different industry like Asian Paint, Hindustan Gum, and we have done this work in collaboration with other institute and industry, and our work is appreciated by different agents or magazines and recognized both internationally and nationally, including President of India. However, my work horse are my student, the research scholar and postdoctoral fellow, and they are, because of their effort, day and night effort, I am able to present this whatever little work we have done. So I am thankful to them. This is the different recognition which has already been told to you, and thank you so much for your kind attention and patience. Thank you. So question please, if you have any query.
Yes, sir. I will now request
So can I stop sharing? Can I stop sharing?
Sir, keep the slides. Maybe somebody may want to refer to the slide.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your wonderful lecture. Of course, Dr. Avdani will thank you separately. I would now make the forum open for the questions. Students and others who are attending the webinar can now post their questions on the chat box, and one by one, I think I will read them out, and we will request Dr. Karak to kindly answer them. So if there are any questions, please put it on the chat box so that we can, go ahead with this. I would request the student community to come up with some questions.
Yes, for them it is very, very important because they have to understand this effect of polymer and how we can get rid of these issues of environmental pollution.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. Sir, looks like there are no questions, and or maybe your lecture was so crystal clear that all their doubts are cleared, and you have, I think, touched every possible way of using and utilizing it in the most sustainable way. So I personally congratulate you for this excellent work. And in a place like Tejpur, I know how difficult it is, but congratulations for your awards that you have been getting. I would now request Dr. Avadhani to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
and,
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon, and thank you very much, Professor Karak, for such
Thank
a
you.
wonderful talk.
Thank
I have
you,
known
sir.
Professor Karak for the last maybe 15 years, and I have known his with all of his students, many of them at least. He has shown about 20 to students. I have maybe interacted with about 10 students. I have also
Not only,
analyzed.
sir, that you
Yes,
used
tell
to
me, sir.
remember the birthday of all of us.
Thank you, thank you. I have interacted with Professor Karak closely. I have examined some of his theses also. I have personally talked to and interacted with many of his students, and I feel that he is a gentleman, perfect gentleman. And like Madam said, in a remote part of Tejpur, you are able to do such wonderful work. We are indeed very, very happy that at last we are able to get you onto the SPS platform to give such a wonderful talk and share your views with us. And you are a professor, you have been teaching, and you have taught us, taken through all the aspects of chemistry, right from the drawbacks of polymers, and the way they have to be modified. And you talked about how polymers are filling the gaps left over by the iron age, etc. That was very interesting. And how sustainability has been brought. You talked about sustainability. You talked about the uh, triple uh, triple
Bottom line
factors of
approach.
society demands. You also talked about green chemistry. I wonder how you are able to link all of them together. That's so wonderful of you. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. You talked about your favorite topic, which is basically the hyperbranched and dendritic polymers.
Yes, sir.
We 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 love that subject so much that we are happy that you are able to publish several monologues and books based on hyperbranched polymers and dendrimers. I remember NCL we have 2 copies of your book, and I wish
Oh,
other
thank you, sir.
libraries also have this book. It's a very nicely written book, and I will recommend to Somaya Vidya Vihar, who is the host of SPS Mumbai chapter, to please procure the book and share it among the students and the teaching community. Now, what we see is that you have used simple raw materials available in your place and turned them around to make them bio-based hyperbranch polymers. You made them into polymers that are environmentally benign, and you also said simple techniques of contact angle can show you the
Yeah.
hydrophilicity and hydrophobicity so much required for biological applications, etc. It's wonderful, wonderful. Then you talked of how
Thank
carbon dots can be used and how they can be fluorescent and they can also be
Yes.
biomarkers. See how nicely you're able to extend one concept to another in a very seamless manner. Okay, then you talked of simple thing like colocasia. Colocasia is nothing but as Arbi. In Marathi we call it
Kochu.
Arbi. They call it
Yeah.
Kechu. In Arbi
Okay.
is colocasia. Arbi is in Hindi, Marathi side. There they call it Kechu. But then simple things like that can be used to create nanomaterials. That's fantastic, fantastic. You talked about self-healing. You talked about simple thing like polyurethanes. Every one of us use polyurethanes, but none of us
Yes.
have thought that we can use uh, simple diols or polyols obtained from simple sources to make them very high sought after materials. I'm very happy about it. Yeah, PDMS. Who thought that PDMS can be such a wonderful material? You also talked about nanocomposites that you have formed as a next generation material and made them water soluble and also made them degradable,
Yes.
biodegradable. That is fantastic. And then you have shown us that not only can you use salt to prevent water from freezing, you have shown that modified nanocomposites can be used in Leh Ladakh to prevent snow from accumulating on the surface. That is really fantastic. You have able to get that aspect also into your scientific canvas. Your talk is so wide in breadth and so depth in dimension that one wonders, where do you get such time and where do you get such energy to do all this wonderful work? We only
So
wish,
your blessing, sir, your
we
blessing.
only wish you the more strength and energy and more wonderful students to contribute to your work, and at the same time build their career along the line. And we polymer chemists from all over the India will be nice watchers of your success. Thank you very much, Professor Karak, for such a wonderful talk. I, on behalf of Society Polymer Science India and the capacity of Treasurer Polymer Science and my host institute, Society Polymer Science Mumbai chapter, which is housed in Somaya Vidya Vihar, and the driving force, Professor Rajshekar N Pillai, who is the Vice Chancellor of this institute, who conceptualize and visualize the demanding situation should give demanding opportunities for science to spread. And what better day can we have this wonderful talk, one day before the Science Day. One day before the Science Day. Fantastic. Yes. We are so happy about it.
Thank you.
We are able to get one of the bright young polymer chemists to speak to us on the Society Polymer Science platform through the SPS Mumbai chapter. And we also wish that he gets more success in life. And actually, when we invited Professor Karak, we never knew that he would be the ultimate recipient of this SPS sponsored Shantapa Award. When we deep down this road, then we suddenly realized our choice was indeed very good. Thank you very much, sir, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much. I also would like to thank the support staff we have. We have see, again, we always have this problem of connectivity. Our problem of connectivity is solved by a gentleman called Amey Rana. We thank him for it. VC sir's office, Vandana madam, Padma madam, and Vayanti madam, our senior colleagues in Sumaya, and wish the students all the best. And we all wish to thank Professor for lecture one day before the Science Day, almost the Science Day celebration. Thank you, Karak sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I also
Thank you, sir.
yeah,
Very much,
thank you. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you. I also express my personal thanks to the organizer, not only the Society of Polymer India, but also the host institute and vice chancellor of this host institute for giving me this opportunity to share our whatever little we have done and the whole country, some of the people who are working or love polymer to work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we will end the session. Yeah.
Thank you, one and all.
Yeah. We'll end the session for all. Yes.
Thank you.